whenever I interview somebody, there's usually a connection to time and horology. And I've noticed throughout a lot of clips, there's watches on your wrist, and I noticed that there's one on today as well. Um, is that I'm guessing a Rolex Yachtmaster? What's on wrist today?
It is a Rolex. I'm not a camera techie or a dive techie. I'm also not a watch techie. Incredibly lucky because Rolex has this amazing initiative called the Perpetual Planet, where they support a handful of people to build these narratives of perpetual, survivability on Earth. Very focused on the ocean, and I am just incredibly lucky that they picked me up as one of their Perpetual Planet ambassadors, and that means that I'm now part of a family of explorers and environmentalists, if you want, that are supported by Rolex. And so they gifted me a Yachtmaster, which is beautiful. I like it because
Beautiful.
it doesn't have the traditional wristband. It has a rubber that goes very well with my diving. So I hate taking my watch off for diving. And they support me with funding as well, and they fund some of our storytelling. So very
That's
lucky.
awesome. Yeah, no, Alex Honnold actually runs the podcast or is the host of the podcast for the Rolex Perpetual.
He's he's interviewed me. Yeah.
That's super cool. I didn't realize that you were part of the Project Perpetual. Because I just noticed, so my son and I, because my son loves everything Nat Geo, I'm going to fully disclose that. He was excited that I'm talking to somebody who's, been on National Geographic, by the way, 7-year-old, we watched the photographer on Nat Geo last night.
It?
Oh yeah, he loved it. He up until like so full disclosure, my son, probably in like 20 years, he's gonna like look back at everything we've done, all the hiking and all the adventuring that we've done. One of one of his like role models, if I can call him that, he loves Albert Lynn. That's kind of his jam. But I showed I showed him that episode with you and Paul, and he thought that was cool because you guys are divers and trying to help the planet. And it, like you said, kids when we're first born, like we're curious and we're explorers and there's almost like an innate, like my kid's an outdoor kid. Trust me, at around 5 o'clock when he comes in, he smells like the outdoors. He's an outdoor kid.
That's a good smell.
Right? So yeah, anyway, that's a little bit backstory about me. No, I noticed when we were watching that episode yesterday, you had like a Rolex Daytona on, and so I was just like, well, that's curious. I was wondering if are you a watch collector, or is it just because of your connection with Rolex?
No, so that Rolex Daytona, which is my favorite watch, was given to me as a gift by a friend of ours who's very good friends with the CEO of Rolex. And he invited Paul and I to his birthday in Antarctica. And so we went with this amazing, he's a great philanthropist. He supports a lot of conservation work. And he gifted me that Daytona with a map of Antarctica engraved in the watch. So I love it. It's my favorite watch.
Oh
But
wow.
I had an e-bike accident a year and a half ago. It's one of those things where I was being cocky and I didn't wear a helmet, and I had already had a glass of wine. And so
Mm,
stupid over stupid over stupid. And I slammed myself on the ground,
mm,
lost consciousness, woke up in the hospital. But somebody picked me up and took me home with the e-bike, which was Paul Nicklin's brand new e-bike,
yeah.
with my Daytona. And this guy called Paul on my phone, using my cell phone, and said, Paul, Christina's been hurt. You need to come home. And he left. So we never knew who this Good Samaritan was.
Wow.
And he left the bike and the Rolex on my counter. He took it off because my hand was destroyed and the watch was destroyed. And so I need to send it to be repaired, and I just haven't been home long enough to put it in a box and send it to Rolex.
Wow. Uh, Major kudos to the Good Samaritan. One, I'm glad you're okay. But two, that had no idea that was the backstory. It from what I could tell, at least in that episode on Nat Geo, looked like it was a white dial. Maybe it's a Panda. I'm not sure.
It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no, it caught my eye because it just one, I'm a watch guy, but two, that's cool. So you said you don't like taking your watch off when you dive. So when you dive, do you actually dive with a Rolex, or do you dive with a dive watch as well as your dive computer?
yes, so I dive with my watch and I dive with my computer.
Mhm.
My computer oftentimes gives me, a lot of information, the depth, how much gas I have, the time to surface, my safety stuff, but it doesn't tell me what time it is. And so I like knowing what time it is.
I
And
know, I know.
one of the reasons is because I am partially in charge of feeding the crew. And so I need to keep tabs on things like lunchtime and, how long have those beans been simmering or whatever. So
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I have a dive coming up this weekend, so I'm double wristing as well. I've got my Doxa Clive
double
Cussler
wristing. Yeah.
300T. But no, I found it interesting when I saw you with your watch because that's so cool. Is that yellow gold or is it?
It's that rose gold.
Oh, it's rose gold.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I thought it was stainless steel at first when you flashed it.
So
Oh, it's cool.
one of the reasons I use this watch is because it has this dial that allows me to see elapsed time. And sometimes, I want to just know if there's a whale, for example, how long has it been diving for? And I just, set these little time things for myself.
Before we close out, if you wanted to invite people to come see or to check out Hope or whatever, where can we drive people, invite people to see your projects?
So I would like to extend two invitations. One is for people to learn more about Sea Legacy because I think what we're doing is important. And one of the things we're doing is shining a spotlight on the heroes in the front line, to all these amazing organizations that are finding solutions for all the ocean problems. So that's sealegacy.org. Um, and the second one is to be part of Hope. And you can find more information either on my Instagram, and I am at Mitty, Mitty, or on my website. It's right there on the banner, Cristina Mittermeier. Cristina has no H, so Cristina. And yeah, I mean, I love for more people to be part of Hope.
Thank you so much, Christina, for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
This is so much fun, and go diving.
Oh, yes. No,